Human rights protection is one element that has gotten lost in the COVID-19 pandemic. Lockdowns and various restrictions have had an unseen effect on human rights. A conference organized by Southwest University of Political Science and Law aims to address these issues. Wei Lin Tang files this report.
The global academic community descends on southwestern China to focus on one of the lesser-known dynamics of the COVID-19 pandemic: human rights protection. Many local and foreign guests have joined in via video calls.
This is the first time that people from around the world are facing a common problem. And the one key message that I'd like people to take away is we should respect life. All human lives are equal. No one is superior nor inferior to anyone. When a society is able to prioritize the rights and lives of weaker, vulnerable groups to treat them as equals, then that is a civilized society.
In an April 2020 report, the United Nations said the public health crisis is fast becoming an economic and social crisis, as well as a protection and human rights crisis rolled into one. Specifically, the report said extensive lockdowns have, in the process, restricted the freedom to enjoy many other human rights. This can unknowingly affect people's access to healthcare, food, water and sanitation, work, education, and leisure.
The only measure that you can take if the vast majority of the population of a nation is reasonably satisfied with the human rights situation in their own environment, you have to say that you have to conclude academically that the local authorities are doing well in this respect, even though the situation in one country can be very different in another country, another region of the world.
Professor Pavarelli, who studied Chinese language and culture, says the term life needs to first be defined.
I believe that when Chinese talk about Chongqing, it's really the physical life, and Chinese are very eager to continue the human life in the sense of that you keep breathing and that you stay healthy. While in the European example, certainly the Swedish example, life includes things like a livable environment. So the fact that I can go out and meet my friends. To stick to this particular case, any measure to deal with calamity like a new disease, as long as it's embedded, should be embedded in local culture, should not be explained in terms of which is better or superior.
In facing the pandemic, China and Western countries should have an open attitude. Instead of pinpointing who has done better or worse, we should instead fight the virus together. We should regard things calmly and not bring personal gains to the table.
Something echoed by many around the world. For what other ways are there to ensure that the global economy and international travel get back on track? Wei Lin Tang, CGTN, Chongqing.